Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. Hey man, shout out to Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is a young black boy from Collins High School in Sewanee, Georgia, who was ranked as the #1 overall football recruit in the country and made history this week by committing to THEE Jackson State University, playing under the tutelage of THEE Deion Sanders over Florida State, Ohio State, and the University of Georgia. And for those of you who know nothing about football, it's me. I know nothing about football. It is unprecedented for the #1 top recruit, most sought after athlete to pick an HBCU. It was even more so surprising to the people because Florida State had been courting Travis for 2 years with intent to marry. And at the very last minute, my man said, no, PWIs, I'm gonna go be with the blacks. It's giving black boy joy, it's giving black excellence, it's giving reach one. Teach one. And why are we talking about football on our last Friday of the year? Because the whites are mad and their desire to commodify black bodies is showing. Of course it is. You just gonna skip past that like you didn't just say last Friday of the year? The people are saying he was very, very disrespectful to the other schools. They mad because he tossed the other hats to the side and said who wasn't for him. He ain't have to do all that. He could have just respectfully declined. He could have, but he chose not to. He chose joy and hubris as teenage boys do typically do on signing day. You know, the same pride and showmanship y'all love when it's for y'all team. White folks, they expecting deference. To be held in high regard or placated when they being overlooked. We not making y'all comfortable no more. Because if he had tossed everybody to the side except, say, UGA, y'all would have been like, oh well, go dogs. Cut it out. Many feel he could have picked a different HBCU, as JSU is not currently a competitive school. Does not currently play in a very competitive conference. Fans, commentators, and coaches all feel he's going to lose his value come time for the actual draft because his time spent playing teams that are not going to actually challenge him won't adequately prepare him for the NFL draft. So their disappointment in his choice is based solely off an idealized reduction in dollar amount that could have been attached to his body had he went to a white school, and not a winning school, but a white one, because Florida's record was 8-13 last year while JSU's record was 11-1. We're already very familiar with the similarities between football and Western slavery. It's not even that deep. Correct, it's right there on the surface level, plain as day. The very first episode of Colin Kaepernick's Black and White on Netflix illustrates the parallels between the combine and the auction block. A literal field of majority black boys are judged based on their physical capabilities and then sold to the highest bidders, literal owners of teams. Can we call them something else, or do y'all really just not care? And while coaches and owners bank on players' ability to continue to execute high levels of performance, players are subjected to life-threatening conditions every game, the possibility of getting CTE, but are still expected to play because old Massa still gotta make his money. And while critiques of how Travis's decision could impede on his ability to make the most out of his career are valid, Travis is not stupid. He made an intentional decision as a rising cornerback to not only be trained by the most decorated cornerback in history, but to join Deion Sanders in creating space for top athletes to attend HBCUs. Travis said, and I quote, "I am making this decision so that I can light the way for others to follow and make it a little easier for the next player to recognize that HBCUs may be everything you want and more. Something, something, something. And I can't wait to welcome the next class of top athletes into the family of HBCUs." Come on! Come on, Travis. Somebody come fix this boy a plate. Get him some collard greens and some cornbread. Fish one of them big turkey necks out the pot. I don't know if he can have all that while he training. Well, if you see him, ask him if he's hungry, because this boy deserves a home-cooked meal. Stop playing with him, because he ain't coming to play with y'all. Are you okay? It's just all these white men with buku money was trying to buy this black boy and he said no, and I just love that for us. And you're mad. You're mad about it. I'm sorry, she is all over the place today. You're upset that this black boy wielded enough power to subvert your system, and instead of choosing immediate satisfaction, he made a selfless decision to play the long game for boys who look like him, to bring the sports dollars made off their communities back to their communities. Get him some peach cobbler too. Get it to go play because he on the move. All right, now this the hardest you done ever went for a man now. Relax. But black fans are mad too because y'all want these boys to be bought because you two have bought into the continued commodification that takes place, but y'all not ready for that conversation. Yikes. And contrary to popular belief, schools rarely make profit off sports programs. About 20 schools in the nation have the monopoly on making multi-million-dollar profits off their athletics programs. And none of them are black schools representative of the black students who make up the majority of these teams. So actions like Travis's will not only allow black schools to make money off things like games, but building up athletics programs automatically brings in money in other ways. Strong teams attract more students and thus produce more alumni with buying and investing power. Attraction to sports events encourages more stakeholders to invest in school, ultimately leading to improvements in infrastructure, staffing, and pay, which also leads to higher credibility for these schools, making those schools more competitive and desirable on a resume. It's a cycle, people. If almost 58% of players in the NFL are black, it's a wonder HBCUs are not the top recruited schools already. Ha ha. No, it's not. You know they don't like us. Did you get that hat just for this video? No, my mama is from Madison County, Mississippi, and I got this hat when my auntie became the first black woman lieutenant colonel to preside over the JROTC program at Jackson State University. Don't play with us. Hey guys, even though this is the last Friday of the year, don't fret, I'm gonna make sure I'm still on your timeline. But why don't you just go back and watch the videos that you missed when Instagram tried to shadow ban me?